I found out my wife was pregnant. For 1 second I thought my biggest dream had finally come true. Then I learned the baby was not mine. It was my younger brother's. And the deepest cut of all? My own mother knew the truth the whole time. She did not stop it. She did not warn me. She helped hide it. She thought I was the safer choice. The stable one. The man with the paycheck, the house, and the future. So in her mind, I was the one who should carry the lie. I was the one who should raise another man's child and say thank you for it. The second I knew for sure, I did not waste time. I filed for divorce. I gathered every piece of proof. Then I took the whole rotten truth straight to my father. After that, nothing in our family stayed standing. I was 31 years old then. My name is Ethan. I worked as a project manager for my father's construction company in Phoenix. I had been working since I was 15. Not pretending to work. Not showing up for photos. Real work. Dust in my lungs. Sweat in my eyes. Splinters in my hands. I started at the bottom and climbed my way up one hard day at a time. By then, I made about $85,000 a year, not counting bonuses. I had my own house too. I bought it before I got married. It had gone up in value by almost 6 figures. It was the first thing in my life that really felt like mine. I had fought for every wall, every payment, every inch of that place. My wife, Maya, was 29. She worked as a nurse and made around $70,000 a year. We met when she was still in nursing school. Back then she seemed focused, smart, driven. She talked like someone who wanted a real life, not just a pretty picture to post online. I thought we were building toward the same future. Looking back now, I can see I missed warning signs. The first night we went out, she flirted with the bartender right in front of me. I laughed it off because I wanted to believe she was just being playful. I told myself not to be insecure. I told myself not to overthink. Funny how lies always start with the lies we tell ourselves. My father, Victor, was the kind of man people noticed the second he walked into a room. He built himself from nothing. At 18 he was hauling wood, swinging hammers and taking night classes because he refused to stay small. He worked his way into large commercial jobs and built his company with pure grit. He hated laziness. Hated excuses even more. My mother, Linda, was his total opposite. She left her little office job years ago and never looked back. Now she filled her days with shopping, gossip, fake smiles, and acting like my younger brother was some kind of prince sent from heaven. In public she looked polished and sweet. At home she fed drama like it was oxygen. My younger brother, Ryan, was 26. He had floated through life on charm and good looks. That was it. No discipline. No hunger. No real effort. Dad gave him chance after chance anyway. He brought him into the company and gave him an easy office job answering phones for $55,000 a year. Dad hoped the job would wake him up. It did not. Ryan walked around like the company should be thankful he even showed up. He wore loud designer shirts, talked big, and acted like he was some kind of boss. Dad got sick of it and started sending him out into the Arizona heat, thinking real work might shape him. It never lasted. Ryan could barely survive one shift before whining his way back inside. While he was doing that, I was learning everything. Electrical, concrete, carpentry, drywall, roofing, site planning. By 20, I was helping manage housing jobs. By 24, I got promoted because I earned it. Not because of my last name. Because I knew the work. Ryan, meanwhile, hid in the office and played pretend executive. He drove a leased BMW like he owned half the city. At family dinners, Mom praised him for basic things like showing up on time. I would be managing million-dollar builds, solving crisis after crisis, and somehow Ryan still got treated like the star. When I bought my house, he made jokes about how lucky I was. When I got promoted, he called it nepotism. He said it with that smug little half-smile, like the 10 years I had spent grinding meant nothing. Like I had never earned a single thing in my life. 2 years before everything exploded, Ryan got into money trouble. Credit cards. Car payments. Dumb spending. The usual mess. Dad bailed him out with a loan of $15,000. Ryan promised to pay it back. He made a few small payments, then stopped. After that came the excuses. Something always happened. Something always went wrong. Somehow none of it was ever his fault. In the early part of my marriage, Maya and I worked well together. I handled the money, the repairs, the heavy stuff around the house. She cooked, kept our social calendar moving, and made the place feel warm. Sundays were my favorite. She would make food that reminded me of my grandmother's kitchen. Those were the days I let myself believe I had built something safe. We had plans too. Real ones. Not vague wishes. After our 3rd anniversary in October 2022, we started trying for a baby. Maya went off the pill. We tracked her cycle together. We talked about names. We laughed about what kind of parents we would be. I had started picturing a little kid running through our living room. I had already begun loving a future that did not even exist yet. Then in January 2023, Dad landed the biggest project our company had ever taken on. A hospital renovation. 6 months. $2 million. Massive pressure. Tight rules. Endless inspections. One mistake could ruin everything. Dad put me in charge. It should have been one of the proudest moments of my life. Instead, it became the cover story for my own destruction. Hospital construction is brutal. There is no room for error. Every day matters. Every detail matters. I was working long hours, nights, weekends, sometimes barely sleeping. At first, Maya supported me. She would bring dinner to the site sometimes. She would stand near the trucks and smile and talk about our future. We even planned to use my project bonus to pay down the mortgage and start investing harder. Then little things started changing. She began spending more time with a coworker named Chloe. Chloe was a travel nurse. Loud, fun, always chasing a good time. Suddenly Maya was out 3 or 4 nights a week. Girls' nights, drinks after work, last-minute plans. Our routine started falling apart. I was too buried in work to stop and really study what was happening. By February her schedule got strange. She used to work 3 regular shifts a week. That was normal. Then suddenly there were extra hours, surprise trainings, emergencies, last-minute calls from the hospital. It felt like every week there was some new reason she had to be gone. At the same time, Ryan started stopping by our house when I was not home. He would bring her coffee. He would offer to fix little things I had not gotten to yet. A cabinet hinge, a light switch, yard stuff. At the time, I actually thought maybe he was finally growing up. I thought maybe helping out made him feel useful. Maybe responsibility was changing him. I had no idea that while I was carrying the biggest job of my career on my back, my own brother was sleeping with my wife inside the house I had worked years to buy. Looking back, the signs were there everywhere. Ryan started dressing down more. Less flashy. More serious. He showed up to work on time. He even stayed late sometimes. Dad started thinking Ryan was finally stepping up. I let myself believe it too. I wanted to believe it. I wanted to think maybe my family was finally maturing with me. When the hospital project wrapped in March, early and under budget, it should have felt like victory. Dad was proud. The company was buzzing. It was the kind of win that changes careers. I came home ready to breathe again. But something in the house felt wrong. Maya was still always working late. Still always tired. Still always running out the door for some sudden shift or emergency. Only now that I was home more, I started noticing details I had missed before. Every Friday she pulled out $200 in cash. Every single Friday. When I asked why, she barely looked up. Girls' nights, she said. I use cash so I don't overspend. It sounded reasonable for about 5 seconds. Then I remembered that we used to track every dollar together. We talked about groceries, gas, savings, dinners out, everything. Now she was quietly pulling cash every week and acting like it was no big deal. Then there was her phone. It was always in her hand. Always face up when I was not around, always face down when I walked in. She would smile at the screen, then lock it fast the second she noticed me. If I asked who she was texting, I got the same answer every time. Work group chat. Nothing important. Nothing important. That line started sounding like a wall. By April, I noticed the physical signs too. Maya was throwing up every morning. I asked if she was okay. She said there was a stomach bug going around at work. She said she was seeing a doctor, but I did not need to come. That made no sense. We had been trying for a baby for months. I had been tracking her cycle with her because that was something we had chosen together. She was 3 weeks late. That had never happened before. When I brought it up gently, her reaction hit me like a slap. "Why are you watching my body like I'm some kind of experiment?" she snapped. I just stared at her. "What?" I said. "We've been tracking this together. You wanted me involved." "I can handle myself," she shot back. "Stop trying to control everything." Control. That word sat in the room like poison. I was not controlling her. I was worried. I was hopeful. I was confused. But her anger came out way too fast, way too sharp, like she had been waiting for a reason to bite me. That was the moment I knew this was bigger than missed shifts and cash withdrawals. Around the same time, I started noticing something strange with my mother. She stopped calling the house phone. Instead, she started calling Maya directly. Their calls got longer, quieter, more private. They would step outside, close doors, lower their voices. One afternoon, I passed the bedroom and heard my mother say, "He can't find out." I stopped in the hallway so fast my heart slammed against my ribs. My mother and Maya had never been close. Never. They were polite around each other, sure, but not close. Suddenly they were whispering like co-conspirators. Another day, I walked into the kitchen while Maya had Mom on speakerphone. The second my shoes hit the tile, my mother's voice changed. "Oh, Ethan's home," she said quickly. "We'll talk later." Then she hung up. That one little moment changed everything inside me. I started paying attention like my life depended on it. Maya's work stories stopped making sense. She would say she had worked a brutal 12-hour trauma shift, but she came home looking fresh. No stress in her face, No hospital smell. No tired slump in her shoulders. No blood on her shoes. No deep silence of someone who had spent all day saving people. Just clean hair, smooth makeup, and a weird little glow. Something was deeply wrong. Then one Tuesday in April my truck broke down. One of my foremen gave me a ride home. I got there around 2 in the afternoon, 5 hours earlier than usual. As soon as I stepped inside I heard laughter. Like it was normal. Like I was just some fool who existed to be managed. Then I reached the messages about the pregnancy. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. In April, Maya had written that her OBGYN appointment confirmed she was 8 weeks pregnant, but she was worried because she was not 100% sure who the father was. My mother's reply made me feel sick. It doesn't matter. Let Ethan think the baby is his. He'll step up. Ryan isn't ready for a child. Ethan has the job, the house, the stability. He'd make the better father anyway. I just stared at the screen. Not because I could not read the words. Because I could. Every single one. There was more. Ryan isn't built for real responsibility. This is the best outcome for everyone. You get security. Ryan doesn't get trapped. Ethan gets what he's always wanted. A family. My mouth went dry. Maya had written back with worry. What if Ethan notices the baby looks like Ryan? What if he figures it out? My mother answered like she was talking about moving furniture. We'll deal with that later. Just keep him calm. Keep acting normal. Sleep with him enough to make the timeline believable. I pushed back from the desk so hard the chair scraped the floor. I felt hot, then freezing cold. My wife. My brother. My own mother. The 3 people who should never have done this to me had been building a fake life around me, one lie at a time. They were not just cheating. They were designing a trap. A whole future made of deceit, and they expected me to live inside it smiling. I do not know how long I sat there. Minutes. Hours. Time did not feel real anymore. But once the shock passed, something else took over. Focus. I started saving everything. Every email. Every message. Every date. I took screenshots. I copied files. I sent backups to myself. I moved everything onto a USB drive. Then I printed the worst ones out. My hands were still shaking, but my mind was razor sharp now. They thought I would never know. They thought I would just keep working, keep trusting, keep paying, keep loving, keep carrying all of them like a beast of burden. They were wrong. I called my father. Dad, I said, and my voice sounded strange even to me. I need to meet you at the office. Right now. It's urgent. He must have heard something in my tone because he did not ask questions. Come, he said. 20 minutes later, I was in his office. I shut the door behind me and laid the truth on his desk. The GPS logs. The bank records. The screenshots. The printed emails. Maya's lies. Ryan's affair. My mother's help. Dad said nothing at first. He sat there with his reading glasses low on his nose, turning page after page. His face did not twist. He did not shout. He just got quieter. And with him, quiet was worse. When he finally looked up, his eyes were like stone. This is war, he said. His voice was calm. Too calm. Meet me at Daniel Park's office in 2 hours. Don't speak to anyone. Don't confront anyone. We handle this legally first. Daniel Park was our company lawyer. Sharp, careful, ruthless when he had to be. He had helped Dad protect the business for years. If Dad said Daniel was stepping in, then this had already moved past family pain and into strategy. When I got there, Dad was already waiting. Daniel cleared his schedule. The second I sat down, we spread the evidence across the table like we were planning a major case. Daniel went through everything with cold precision. The affair timeline. The lies. The hospital records. The restaurant charges. The hotel visits. The messages about the pregnancy. The emails from my mother. After about 20 minutes, he leaned back and folded his hands. Your house is protected, he said. You bought it before marriage. It's separate property. That's good. With this evidence, we move fast and protect everything before she realizes what's happening. I listened carefully. I did exactly what he said. Move joint money now. Document all personal assets. Lock down retirement accounts. Save every message. Record every interaction if the law allows. Do not confront Maya yet. Do not give anyone time to spin the story first. The plan was clear. I left his office and drove straight to the bank. I transferred $95,000 from our joint savings into my personal account. I left $5,000 in there so it would not look like a sudden alarm bell if she checked too fast. Then I made sure every asset I had before marriage was clearly marked and documented as separate property. My stocks. My retirement money. Everything. Meanwhile, Dad moved on Ryan. Without warning, he called the office and stripped Ryan of all company access. No truck. No company card. No building badge. No office system login. Nothing. He told Linda, our admin manager, to lock it all down quietly. By Monday, Ryan's key card would not open a single door, and his company truck would not even start. I shut down every joint credit card except one with a $2,000 limit, just in case Maya tried something reckless. I removed her access from my personal accounts. I changed passwords. Every step was legal. Controlled. That night, while Maya was in the shower, her phone lit up on the bathroom counter. I was not even planning to touch it. Then I saw the preview. A message from Ryan. Been waiting for a moment like this. Can't wait to see you tomorrow at Mom's. Dad's working late, so we'll have the place to ourselves again. Don't forget to bring what you picked up yesterday. I felt something in me turn to steel. The affair was not over. It was still going. And now they were getting bolder. I took a photo of the message and sent it to Daniel. Then I called Dad. It's time, I said. He did not ask what I meant. He already knew. We set the trap. A family dinner. Saturday night. At my house. Dad called Mom and Ryan separately and told them I had big news. Something worth celebrating. He kept it vague on purpose. Maybe a promotion. Maybe a pregnancy. Maybe some big surprise. He let their own imagination do the work. On Friday evening, I told Maya casually that we were having family over for dinner. The second I mentioned Ryan would be there, her whole body changed. She looked straight at me. Why? I shrugged. Thought it'd be nice. Out of nowhere? Yeah. What's the occasion? I've got some good news. She stared at me too long. What kind of good news? I smiled. You'll see tomorrow. She tried again while I was rinsing dishes. Do I need to make something special? No, I said. I've got dinner covered. That bothered her. I could tell. You're scaring me, Ethan. Relax, I said softly. It's fine. But it was not fine. Saturday, April 29th, I woke up with a strange kind of calm. Like the storm had already passed through me and now all that was left was action. I set the dining table carefully. At Maya's place, I put a large envelope. Inside were the divorce papers. At my father's place, I put another envelope. Inside were printed emails. The worst ones. The ones that showed my mother helping plan the affair and hiding the pregnancy truth. Then I wrote a certified check for $15,000 to my father. That was the exact amount he had once loaned Ryan when he crashed his finances. I knew Ryan would never pay it back. Dad deserved to be made whole before the night blew apart. Maya was on edge all day. She kept drifting into the kitchen, pretending to help, pretending to clean, pretending to be casual. What is this really about? You'll find out. Ethan, please stop doing that. Doing what? Talking like you know something. I looked at her and gave her the kind of half smile that says everything and nothing at the same time. Dinner that night was my usual family meal. Tri-tip roast with chimichurri. The kind of food that smelled like comfort. I wanted the house to feel as normal as possible right up until the second it did not. Mom arrived first. She swept in with a bright fake smile and one of those dramatic hugs she gave when other people were watching. Sweetheart, she said. What is this big surprise? You look serious. Before I could answer, Dad walked in behind her. He gave me one steady nod. That was it. No smile. No small talk. Just a nod. 20 minutes later, Ryan came in like he owned the place. Loud shirt. Cocky grin. He slapped my shoulder like we were best friends. So what's the big news? He asked. Don't tell me Maya's finally pregnant. Took you long enough. He said it with a smirk. A filthy, smug smirk. For 1 second I saw it all from above. Him sitting in my house. Eating my food. Looking at me like I was a joke. Like he had already won. Maya barely touched her plate. She kept glancing at Ryan, then at me, then back down again. Mom kept filling the room with useless chatter about church people and weather and sales at some store. But underneath it all, the tension was so thick it felt like the walls could hear it. When dinner was over and the plates were mostly cleared, Dad leaned back in his chair and lifted his beer. Well, son, he said. Looks like everyone's here. You've got the floor. I stood up. My pulse was steady now. I picked up the envelope and slid it across the table to Maya. I do have something to share, I said. These are divorce papers. Silence. Real silence. The kind that swallows a room whole. Even the refrigerator hum sounded loud. Maya stared at the envelope like it had exploded in front of her. What? She whispered. My mother clutched at her chest. Ethan. What on earth are you doing? I did not even look at her. Instead, I picked up the second envelope and handed it to Dad. "This one is for you," I said. "Emails between your wife and mine. Months of messages planning Maya's affair with Ryan. Mom helped cover it up the whole time." Dad opened the envelope slowly. He already knew what was inside. But when he started reading the printed pages in front of everyone, the room changed. Ryan shot up from his chair so fast it banged against the wall. "You went through her emails?" he snapped. "Are you insane? That's illegal. You can't use that." I looked at him. That was what he cared about. Not betrayal. Not family. Not the baby. Just whether he might still escape consequences. "That's your concern?" I asked quietly. "Not the fact that you've been sleeping with my wife?" Maya let out a choking sound. "Ethan, please just let me explain." "Don't," I said. One word. Cold and flat. Her mouth shut. Dad turned a page. I saw the exact moment he reached the message where Mom told Maya how to line up lies with his golf schedule. Mom reached for the papers with shaky fingers. "Victor, let me see that." He pulled them away. "Linda," he said, and his voice shook with rage now, "what is this?" She started stumbling over her words. "I was trying to protect the family." "Protect it?" he said. "You helped destroy it." She turned fast, desperate. "She's the one who seduced Ryan. I was only trying to stop things from becoming worse." Ryan actually laughed. "Come on," he said. "Ethan worked all the time. Maya needed attention. I just gave her what he wouldn't." The room went red. I did not think. I moved. I came around the table and hit him as hard as I could. My fist smashed straight into his face. I felt his nose break. Blood sprayed across his ridiculous shirt as he fell backward into the china cabinet. Glass rattled. A chair tipped over. My mother screamed like someone had been stabbed. Ryan hit the floor groaning, both hands covering his face. Dad stood up slowly. He was 6'1" and built like a man who had lifted half his life. But it was not his size that scared people. It was the stillness. The control. "Get him out," he said. Ryan looked up from the floor, blood pouring between his fingers. "You can't be serious, Dad." "Oh, I'm serious." Dad's voice was ice. "You're fired. Cut off. Done. You are no longer my concern." Mom gasped. "Victor, he is your child." Dad turned toward her, and I had never seen eyes that cold before. "No," he said. "Ethan is my son. That one just proved blood means nothing if you can betray your own family." Maya burst into tears then. Real, ugly sobbing tears. "Ethan, please," she cried. "The baby could still be yours." I looked at her. For one tiny second I saw the woman I thought I had married. The woman from the old Sundays. The woman from the baby name talks. Then I remembered the emails. The lies. The planning. The way she let me dream about a child while hiding the truth. "Then we'll do a DNA test," I said. "But it changes nothing. We are finished." I picked up the certified check and handed it to Dad. "This is for the loan you gave Ryan," I said. "The $15,000 he was never going to repay. You shouldn't have to carry that." Dad looked at the check. Then at Ryan on the floor. Then at Mom, who was crying and trying to help him sit up. His jaw clenched. "Linda," he said, "get your coat. We're leaving. You and I are going to have a very long conversation." The door shut behind them a few minutes later. And then the silence hit. Broken plates on the floor. A shattered dining chair. Drops of blood on the hardwood. Divorce papers still open on the table. Maya sat frozen, her mascara smeared, her face swollen with panic. She looked small then. Not innocent. Just small. "What happens now?" she asked in a whisper. I stood there in the wreckage of my own marriage and felt strangely empty. "Now," I said, "you pack your things and get out." She blinked. "This house was mine before you ever moved into it. You have until tomorrow." She did not argue. I think she knew there was nothing left to say. She stood up slowly and went upstairs to pack. I stayed in the dining room, surrounded by everything that had broken. And for the first time in months, maybe longer, my mind felt clear. The divorce moved fast. Daniel made sure of that. Maya tried asking for alimony, but he crushed that idea immediately. She had a full-time job as a nurse. She had income. And I had a mountain of proof showing deception, financial dishonesty, and infidelity. Arizona may be a no-fault state, but cheating still matters when money and fairness are on the table. In the end, Maya walked away with her clothes, her Honda Civic, and nothing else. Then the DNA test came back. The baby was not mine. I felt no surprise. Only a quiet, bitter kind of relief. Maya moved in with Chloe, the travel nurse who had helped cover for her fake work shifts. According to mutual friends, Chloe got tired of Maya fast. Maya cried all the time, wanted endless pity, and expected Chloe to pay for too much. Within 6 weeks, even Chloe kicked her out. Dad kept every promise he made that night. Ryan was officially fired from the company. Dad banned him from every job site we had. Then he made a few calls. Phoenix construction is a small world if you have been in it long enough. Word spread. Ryan could not get hired anywhere that mattered. The money stopped too. No more BMW payments. No more family credit cards. No more rescue money. For the first time in his life, Ryan had to stand on his own weak legs. 3 weeks later, he got arrested for driving on a suspended license with expired tags and no insurance. He had been dodging car payments and could not afford coverage anymore. He spent 2 nights in county jail. Dad did not help him. Let him sit, Dad told me. Maybe a jail cell will teach him what life never did. Maya tried to push her way back into my life more than once. Emails. Texts. Even showing up at one of my job sites in the middle of the afternoon. She cried and said we could fix this. She said people make mistakes. She said we had history. She said she still loved me. Then one day she sent a message blaming me for the affair. She said I worked too much. She said I did not meet her emotional needs. She said she felt lonely. That was the last message I ever read from her. I blocked her on everything. That kind of thinking is how cheaters survive inside their own heads. They burn your life down, then point at the smoke and ask why you were not better at stopping the fire. But the part that brought me the deepest satisfaction was not what happened to Maya. It was what my father did after he turned his full attention to my mother. He did not scream for weeks. He did not play games. He went tactical. It turned out he had already been feeling something was off before I ever showed him the emails. He had noticed spending problems. Hidden tension. Strange behavior. After the dinner, he had Daniel run a full financial audit on their marriage going back 2 years. What they found was brutal. My mother had been secretly funneling around $3,000 a month to Ryan. Hidden credit lines. Cash advances. Charges Dad never approved. And worst of all, she had taken out a second mortgage behind his back. She had been draining their life to keep Ryan floating while pretending she was a loyal wife. 6 weeks after the dinner, Dad filed for divorce. He was 58 years old and he was done. Mom lost her mind. She screamed. Begged. Cried. Promised to change. Said family should not be thrown away. Dad did not move an inch. And this time the divorce was not quiet. It was war. Dad kept the company, the main house, and most of the major assets. Mom was left scrambling because she had not worked in over 10 years. No savings worth anything. No real backup. No soft landing. The woman who once snapped at store clerks now had to take a retail job at Target for $12 an hour. I heard she had to stand for hours folding clothes and bagging items for people younger than me. Life has a cruel sense of humor sometimes. Ryan moved in with her in a rundown 2-bedroom apartment across town. He tried more than once to crawl back to Dad. He said he had learned his lesson. He said he wanted another chance. Dad told him the same thing every single time. You chose your path the day you stabbed your brother in the back. Walk it. The last I heard, Ryan was working the graveyard shift at Home Depot, stocking shelves and unloading freight trucks. Barely getting by. Angry at the world. Angry at everyone except himself. Maya had the baby. A little girl. She was living in a cramped 1-bedroom apartment and working extra shifts to afford daycare. Life hit her hard. Harder than she expected, I think. The fantasy died fast once there was no stable husband left to carry it. A few months later there was a knock at my door. I opened it and felt something close to laughter rise in my chest. Mom and Ryan. Standing there like I owed them air. They had not called. Had not asked. Had not apologized in any real way. And what they wanted was beyond insane. They wanted me to do the right thing. They wanted me to claim Maya's daughter as my own. They wanted me to put my name on the birth certificate. They wanted me to pay child support. And because apparently their nerve knew no limits, they also wanted help with Ryan's legal bills so he could get back on track. Mom stood there on my porch with wet eyes and that tired manipulative voice she had used my whole life. We're still family, Ethan, she said. People make mistakes. That little girl should not suffer. Ryan shifted beside her, looking embarrassed but still entitled, like this was all very reasonable. Mom kept going. You need to be the bigger person. That child needs a father figure. And you're the only one who can give her a stable life. I looked her dead in the eye. Every lie. Every secret. Every whispered phone call. Every email telling Maya to trick me. Every word crashed through my mind at once. Then I said exactly what they had earned. Get off my property. Don't ever come back. Mom looked stunned, like she still believed I could be guilted into saving the mess she helped create. Ryan tried once. Come on, man. No, I said. I'm not paying for your betrayal. I'm not raising your child. I am not cleaning up one more thing for either of you. They did not leave fast enough, so I called the police. When the officer came, he listened, looked over the history I had documented, and nodded like he had seen this kind of family madness before. He told me I was smart to keep records and smarter to cut ties. That was the last time they ever stepped onto my property. 8 months passed after the night of that family dinner. I will not lie and pretend it was easy. The first few months were brutal. I was 30 years old and felt like I was rebuilding my life from the ground up. Everything I thought I knew about loyalty, trust, and family had cracked wide open. Some mornings I woke up angry. Some mornings I woke up empty. Some nights I sat in my living room and stared at nothing, trying to understand how the people closest to me could look me in the face and still choose to destroy me. But once the poison was gone, I could finally breathe. And once I could breathe, better things started growing. My relationship with Dad became stronger than it had ever been. Not long after the dust settled, he brought me in as a full business partner and gave me a 40% share of the company. I did not ask for it. He said I had earned it a long time ago. We started talking expansion. Commercial real estate development. Medical buildings. Projects in Tucson. Maybe Las Vegas next. The company got stronger too. With Ryan gone, we stopped losing time and money on nonsense. Bigger clients started trusting us more. Bigger contracts started coming in. Then, 6 months after the divorce was final, I started dating again. That was when I met Claire. I met her at a development conference in Las Vegas. She was an architect who focused on medical buildings and large commercial projects. She was sharp, calm, and fully her own person. She had goals. She had discipline. She had her own money, her own mind, and no need to be rescued. Being around her felt strange at first. Peaceful. Clean. There were no games. No fake helplessness. No hunger in her eyes for someone to carry her life. She was everything Maya was not. Grounded. Focused. Honest. Being with Claire felt like opening a window after living too long in a room with no air. Now and then, I still hear little updates about Ryan and Maya through people in construction and healthcare. Ryan burned through 4 jobs in 8 months. Same attitude. Same laziness. Same belief that real work is beneath him. He still cannot understand why no one wants to keep him around. As for Maya, she made a public post online asking for money to help with baby costs. It backfired badly. Too many people knew the truth. The comments tore into her lies, her cheating, and the way she tried to act like a victim after she blew up her own life. Mom made a few weak attempts to reach Dad through mutual friends. She said she wanted to repair the family. She said she was suffering. She asked when he would stop punishing her. Dad gave the same answer every time. You made your choice when you helped destroy Ethan's marriage. Now live with it. If I learned anything from all of this, it is something I wish I had learned sooner. When people show you who they really are, believe them the first time. Do not keep making excuses for them. Do not keep handing them fresh chances to hurt you. Do not confuse blood with loyalty. Family is not just DNA. Family is who stands beside you when it matters. Family tells the truth when truth is hard. Family protects, not uses. Ryan and my mother failed that test in the ugliest way possible. My father did not. And I did not. That is why, in the end, the sweetest justice was not screaming. It was not the punch. It was not even the divorce papers. It was watching their world fall apart while mine finally came together. Watching Ryan drag himself through low-paying jobs after living like he was too special to work. Watching Maya drown in the life she chose after thinking she could manipulate everyone forever. Knowing my mother now has to answer to the kind of people she once looked down on. That is justice. Not because I planned every part of their fall, but because for the first time in their lives, they had to live inside the truth they created. And me? I got my house back. My peace back. My future back. They tried to turn me into the man who would carry all their lies. Instead, I became the man who walked away and let them carry their own.